I don't know how long this one's going to be. But obviously, I just really wish people would stop talking about Epstein. You know, I just really would. Nothing's going to come out. Nothing. Have the files been released yet? No. Now Kash Patel and that other Nazi-looking dude that's part of the FBI is saying he committed suicide. Obviously, nothing is going to happen. They feed people with anticipation. That's what they do. Good example. Fuck. Noreen Gosh is about ready to solve her son's abduction. Any fucking day now. Of course, she's been saying that for what, 40 fucking years? And everyone's still waiting. And that's how it works. Hold your breath and wait for the Epstein stuff, and I guarantee you, you're going to be dead of old age before anything ever happens, because nothing ever will happen. Isaac Cappy was trying to expose the real people. I've been trying to expose the real people. The people who are involved. Nobody wants to hear about that. It's not salacious enough. Fuck, if I ran around and said that it was Oprah Winfrey and Tom Hanks, I probably would have 1 million subscribers already. That's how it works. They don't want to know the truth. They want to know the drama, the entertainment factor. That's how it works. Like I said this morning, Cognitive, I don't give a shit if Epstein is alive or if he's dead. It's Aquino that's alive. It's Aquino that I'm concerned about. Thomas Schoenberger, that's who I'm concerned about. If you look in the description, you'll see an email that I sent out. Thomas actually sent out an email saying that he hasn't talked to Nathan for years. Hasn't talked to Nathan for years, but knows that he was going to the hospital, knew what hospital he was going into. Fuck, probably knows his doctors. Knows specifics. Specifics. How many of you know specifics of any YouTuber going to the doctor? Anybody? Name one. Name one that you know. You know? There's such a thing called HIPAA laws. But Thomas doesn't care about those. He'll just promote anything, and he sends it to my sheriff, Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross, who's all protecting them and has protected them. The Earling, Iowa gas station, he knew about the threats I was getting. He knew about the dudes that were across the street that Saturday before we were in COVID lockdown when the gas station went up on Monday. His own Deputy Donovan, was the one who they were using to go after me with the dogs. Whatever they were trying to get him to do, he chose suicide a week and a half before that gas station explosion rather than get into a situation where it would be a domestic terrorism. You know? But it's blatant, right in people's fucking faces. And nobody cares. They just look away. Most people sit on their hands and wait for Jesus to save them. That's how it works. They're sitting on their hands, waiting for Jesus to save them. Fuck the kids. Fuck everyone else. They're waiting for Jesus to save them. And that's how this works. That's how it's always worked. That's the reason why survivors just end up dead and nobody gives a shit. Fuck, hardly anybody's talking about Virginia Giuffre anymore. You know? Fuck, she's dead. Cross her off. Let's go to the next one. That's how it works. While Thomas goes on and spouts all of his bullshit. And Thomas and Corey Daniel and his little Sicilian witch wife, who was reportedly the last one who spoke to Isaac Cappy, and Doug Mesner, and that Chris Mackenzie Jones down in Australia, and Gabe Hoffman, and Geo Farnsworth, and Daniel Dowd, who is posting pictures of my house burning down over and over and over. YouTube doesn't do a fucking thing. People have reported it. Nobody does anything. Neil has the email addresses. What, you think he's used that Shadow Dragon program? Fuck no. No, because he's busy protecting the goddamn pedophiles. That's how it works. But you can't say that because people like Neil. And so it's okay that he protects pedophiles. It's okay that he's in a drug thing. It's okay. They like him. You know? They like him. So all the evil shit that he does, it's all okay. Because they like him. He's a Republican. That's how it works around here. He's a Republican. So they like him. He can defend all the fucking pedophiles he wants. You know? I wonder if his kids got involved with it, if he'd even get involved. Because chances are, the answer is no. He'd protect the pedophiles. Fuck his own kids. You know? That's how it works. And so it's very irritating to deal with. It's very irritating to deal with. And if you're in here and what I'm saying and all you're worried about is the language that I use, then go the fuck away. That's how it works. Just go the fuck away. You're more concerned about me swearing than you are fucking pedophiles. You know? It's sad. It's disgusting is what it is. It's disgusting. And so, I don't know what else to say anymore. I don't know what else to say. Thomas can harass the shit out of me. You know? That's just it. If your ears are burning because I'm using swear words, then you obviously live in a much better world than I do. You know? It's very irritating. It's very irritating. And not the least bit disheartening. People actually think that pedophiles are okay. They're entertaining. You know? And so what? So they busted, 200 and something in Florida now? They're just busting the people who actually want to be pedophiles. The people who are actually getting the kids and targeting the kids and all of that, not one of them is fucking, not one of them has gotten busted. You know? P. Diddy. They're sacrificing the black dude. That's what they do. In Franklin, what did they do? They sacrificed the black dude. You know? Larry King. That's who they sacrificed, the black dude. If they can sacrifice a woman, that's even better. But all the rest of them, fuck. Epstein worked alone. He's the one who was paying himself to fuck the kids. He's the one who had the island. Nobody who went on the island was part of it. Nobody was part of it. He just worked alone. You know? They'll say that shit and people will be like, oh, I'm surprised, but okay. And people wonder, but that's right. Sit on your hands, pray for Jesus to come save you. That's how it works, isn't it? Pray for Jesus to come save you. Not anybody else. Just you. Fuck your neighbor. And fuck you doing anything for anybody else. The pedophiles are okay. That's how it is in my town. That's how it is. It's okay. It wasn't Neil's job to count explosions. Fuck, he didn't even have to count them. All he had to do is remember. He was on the KETV thing just like I was. You know? But it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any sense. Fuck, who cares? Laws don't matter anymore. Morality doesn't matter anymore. Humanity doesn't fucking matter anymore. You know? And nobody has to do anything. Let's sit on our hands and wait for Jesus. Is Jesus going to come save us right now? Jesus! Jesus, we need to be saved! It's sad. It's sad. With that said, as you can tell, I'm irritated and I don't want to do this today. I'm not going to tell everybody how God loves you and how wonderful everyone is and how everything you do is great and all of that. All the while, fucking kids are getting targeted and raped and trafficked. That's how it works. Yes, I believe in God. I also believe that God says that we're supposed to stand up against the dark. We're supposed to stand up for righteousness. We're not supposed to sit on our hands and wait for Jesus. That's not the way it's supposed to work. Those who strive to save their lives will lose them. Those who stand for righteousness will find life everlasting. But again, that's a law that God gave us. Laws don't exist. Just sit on your hands and wait for Jesus. You know, offer your thoughts and prayers. Helped Isaac Cappy, didn't they? Your thoughts and prayers helped Isaac. Helped Lori King, Virginia Giuffre, Tracy Twyman. I could just go on the whole list. Your thoughts and prayers had such an effect, didn't they? Saved every one of them. Oh, wait a minute. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Because they all got murdered. Jesus! Jesus! No wonder everyone asks, have you found Jesus? Because he's obviously lost. You know? With that said, I don't even really want to do this today. So I'm not going to. So people can do whatever the fuck they want. And are going to. You know? Regardless of the consequences. It's sad. It's sad. But let me go on record. Thomas Schoenberger, Corey Daniel, his Sicilian witch wife, Gabe Hoffman, Chris Mackenzie Jones, Geo Farnsworth, Daniel Dowd, they all work together. They're not oppositional to each other. They all work together. Tara Joyce works with them. They're all part of this whole thing. They're all part of this child trafficking thing. They just know that if they argue amongst each other, most of you will get so caught up in the drama that you won't think anything else. You'll just focus on their drama. But it's all fake. It's as real as reality television is. You know? Worldwide wrestling. Just as real. You know? And they know that people are going to feed into it. But let me point out, 2025, they're now saying that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in jail. No files have been released. Nothing's been released. The files they did just release, they redacted Trump's name off of it. Trump is well known to be a friend of Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein was going to Mar-a-Lago and targeting women. That's where he got Virginia Giuffre. But we don't talk about that because we like Trump. You guys like Trump. So no, anyone you like couldn't possibly be involved. You'll sit around and be accepting of evil. And then when you end up in the dark, you're going to feel butthurt because you weren't responsible. And that's the issue. It's the whole fucking reason you're going to end up in the dark. Because you felt like you weren't responsible. And you were wrong. We're all responsible for each other. That's how it works. We're responsible. It is up to us to take a stand. Not sit around and wait for Jesus. Jesus never said to sit around and wait for him. That was never said. In fact, just the opposite. But most will preach a Bible they've never fucking read. But they picked it up through osmosis. What they think it says is what it says. And their uneducated opinions, you know? But with that said, I just don't know what else to say anymore. You know? I just don't know what else to say. Thomas will say that I'm harassing him and fuck, I can get 10 emails from him. God knows, I might have 10 emails. At least Daniel Dowd had the last live I did, he texted me 131 times in a 48 minutes. Texted me 131 times. Convicted, fucking has a mugshot for fucking a kid underneath the age of 12. You know? But he is better to Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross than I am trying to investigate and get this exposed. Neil Gross will fucking fight for the pedophiles. He'll fight for the pedophiles every time. And people in town here will fight for Neil to fight for pedophiles. And no one's accountable. No one's responsible. You know? It's everyone else, not them. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're sitting on their hands and waiting for Jesus. That's what they're doing. Waiting for Jesus. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Sit on our hands, let evil happen, and wait for Jesus. You know? You want to be saved, but you won't do a fucking thing to help save anybody else. But you expect it. But we reap what we sow. How does that work? You know? You won't do it, but you'll expect it to be done for you. It's just... But on a better note, there are some of you who actually have donated to me, and I just wanted to say thank you. The other thing is, Sherilyn actually caught me right after the last one. JD Delay I was wrong with. He has done a lot of good things for people. I'm just upset because everyone seems to be feeding into this Epstein thing and jumping along with this whole Epstein thing. So I was wrong to discredit. I actually don't mind watching some of the stuff that JD Delay says, you know? But I think the fucking pedophiles need to be stopped, and I think we need to stop picking and choosing. If they're Republicans and they're pedophiles, they're still bad. If they're Democrats and pedophiles, they're still bad. Pedophiles are bad. Period. No matter what the fuck they call themselves. They're bad. Can we at least agree on that? But that's all I have to say this today. I have other shit that I want to do that will put me in a better mood than talking about the fucking child killers. But as of now, Epstein obviously committed suicide. That's what Crazy Eye Cash Patel is saying, along with this Nazi dude. You know, no files have come out. Oh, I know they're going to come out any minute. Just like Noreen Gosh is going to expose who abducted her son. 40 years later, we're still waiting for that. You'll be waiting for these Epstein files probably even longer. You know? And it's not like the list of who's involved on the ground, who's working the shit, isn't out there. But you don't know those people, so they don't matter. You know? My next thing I'll say, Tom Hanks and Oprah Winfrey are abducting children. And they killed Isaac Cappy and Virginia Giuffre, and they just do everything. Fuck, I'll probably have thousands of people like and subscribe to that. You know? But the truth of the matter, the reality of the matter that could actually change things, nobody's interested in that. Show me any proof that anyone is interested in that. Because I can show you all kinds of proof where it's not true. You know? And so, funny, a thing from CNN just came up on YouTube, and it says they don't care. Yeah, I agree. They don't care. Oh, they care, all right. They'll dupe anybody into thinking whatever it is, but no action is ever going to happen. If it was, they would be looking into Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves, and his satanic temple after-school daycare, which is what's targeting the kids. They would focus on that. But what they do is they get you to focus on anyone who comes out and calls them out. We're all crazy. Isaac Cappy, crazy. Max Spears, crazy. Tracy Twyman, crazy. Lori King, crazy. Virginia Giuffre, crazy. Anyone who comes out and actually points out their shit. And who are you listening to? The pedophiles. That's who's convincing you that everyone's crazy. And they're okay. The pedophiles. And if they're okay, then give them your kids. That's what I always tell Neil Gross. If he likes pedophiles so much, offer him your kids. But that's not how it works. It's everyone else's kids that's okay, not their kids. But everyone else's kids are free reign, you know? Go ahead. Shit, what difference does it make? This world, as far as I'm concerned, can't burn fast enough. Flat out. And the sun is cooking the shit out of us. We just got hit with an X2 solar flare. Knocked out radio communications. They're expecting another Carrington event, which could be frying our power grids. You know? Couldn't happen fast enough. You want to live in a lawless world where anything goes and the evil reigns? You're about ready to get it. And when your house is burning down, sit on your hands in your burning house and expect Jesus to come save you and see how it works for you.